ඔබත් SLT පාරිභෝගිකයෙකු නම් ඔබේ හිතවතෙකුට SLT නව සබඳතාවයක් 50%ක වටනමක් සහිතව ලබා දී ඔබේ බිල්පතට රුපියල් 6000ක් දක්වා වටනමක් හිමි කරගන්න.
Tonight, arrested at last. Former Minister Rajitha Senaratne arrested while at hospital. Treatments continue under heavy protection. Losing the trajectory. TNA parliamentarian Sumanthiran accuses government of damaging national reconciliation process. Says former government's trajectory was turned around.
It's actually a true reflection of what the government wants to do in this country, which is a singular majoritarian rule.
A new approach. New Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman says that he wants to find alternatives to neoliberal policies Sri Lanka is currently following.
Questions are being raised extensively about the validity and relevance of Washington consensus type or neoliberal type of policies to achieve the desired goals of inclusive, sustainable, shared development.
An overseas crash in the mountains. At least 15 people were killed when a plane carrying 93 passengers and 5 crew members crashed seconds after takeoff near the city of Almaty in Kazakhstan. That and much more next on First at 9 this Friday, the 27th of December 2019.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9 with Ndivari Amuwata and Mahesh Jani.
මේ සීන් එකෙන් කට් වෙන්න ඇන්ටිජර් මවුත්වොෂ් සමගින් එන ක්ලෝස් අප් ජෙල් එක ස්ටෝරි එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්න.
Hi.
Hi.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
A very warm welcome. This is First at 9. Tonight, your English news service of AdaDerana 24. I'm Ndivari Amuwata. Good evening, Mahesh.
A very good evening to you, India.
Lovely to have you back on set.
Exactly. Like I said, I come from time to time to check on you whether you're doing good.
Nice to have somebody checking on me. Well, I think we have a host of stories to report today from the flight, the airplane crash in Kazakhstan, a deadly crash, unfortunate.
Indeed.
And
also leading tonight is about an arrest of a prominent politician.
Something that we've been bringing to you as a developing story throughout the past 3 days with the arrest warrant for former Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne being issued. But now...
But before that, we just want to inform our viewers that results, if your children sat for the A-level examination, well, the results are out. Could be good, could be bad. Celebrations at home, but apparently in our studio itself, one person, his family has got some good news.
Right, and I think the advanced level examinations, yes, it's we must congratulate those who have passed the examinations and those who look forward to enter other vocational and skills development training as well, along with their objectives for the future. But let's begin tonight's broadcast with our lead story of the arrest of a former minister in Sri Lanka.
Indeed, former Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne was arrested while being treated at a private hospital today and was remanded until the 30th of this month.
Now, the former minister, who is alleged of fabricating information in relation to white van abductions, is still receiving treatment at the hospital under protection of the prison officers.
Now, he was taken into custody by the Criminal Investigation Department this afternoon, 3 days after the arrest warrant was issued on him for charges of fabricating information relating to white man abductions in the lead up to the presidential election in November this year.
With an arrest warrant in hand, officials of the Criminal Investigations Department visited several residences of former Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne to effect his arrest in connection with an ongoing probe into his recent claims of abduction perpetrated with the use of white vans. The ex-minister wasn't found at any of his residences but had admitted himself to a private hospital in Narahempita yesterday. Upon his admission, officials at the CID and Narayanpeta police visited the hospital. When the CID arrived at the hospital, a doctor had informed them that Senaratne had been subjected to a number of medical examinations, and upon conclusion of the test, arrangements could be made if he is to be arrested. Medical treatment was suggested as necessary due to medical observation that the former minister is suffering from stress, trauma and high blood pressure. The CID was thereby unable to obtain a statement from the former minister, but beefed up security outside the hospital room where the former minister is being treated. Dr. Rajitha Senaratne was, however, arrested by the CID at 2:10 p.m. today. CID officers then requested court to remand Dr. Senaratne as granting bail would hinder investigations. Arriving at the hospital, Colombo Additional Magistrate Shalini Pereira examined the former minister and ordered him to be remanded until the 30th of this month. The former minister is currently being treated at the hospital under the full custody of prison officials. Meanwhile, the CID submitted another report to the Colombo Chief Magistrate this morning, compiled over the investigation into the controversial media briefing where white van claims were made. The two suspects, Sarath Kumara and Atula Madanayaka, who were arrested and remanded in connection with the investigations on the allegations at the media briefing, were produced before court today. Deputy Solicitor General Dileep Piris, who appeared in court, said that steps will be taken to obtain statements from Rumi Marshook, identified to have offered financial assistance to conduct the media briefing and to sponsor makeup artists for the suspects. Upon request of the Deputy Solicitor General, court also ordered voice clips of the media briefing obtained from 4 electronic media institutions including AdaDerana to be forwarded to the Government Analyst Department for voice verification tests. President's Counsel Navaratna Bandara, appearing on behalf of former Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne, said the manner in which the complaint was received in order to initiate the investigation is questionable. The President's Counsel pointed out that at the time of the media briefing, then presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa had not made any statement that he was victimized, but instead said his votes increased by hundreds of thousands. Accordingly, President's Counsel Bandara went on to say that Sajid Premadasa, being the real victim of it, did not make any complaint in this regard. He proceeded to say that it is therefore clear that this is a mere investigation conducted to arrest Rajitha Senaratne. The magistrate, however, rejected the request made by Dr. Senaratne's attorney to recall the warrant issued against the former minister. The two suspects who were remanded in connection with the incident were ordered to be further remanded until the 6th of January.
Gel scene action. Anti-germ mouthwash samaging in a close-up gel like a story ka start karanna.
Addressing the officials of the Ministry of Skills Development, Employment and Labour Relations and heads of institutions today, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa told the officials to work to create jobs for both local and foreign job markets. Meanwhile, in another surprise visit of the President, he managed to make his way to both the Science Faculty Hospital and the Ministry of Defence yesterday.
President Rajapaksa paid a visit to the Faculty of Allied Health Sciences at General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University. There are only 40 specialists serving at the moment, where the requirement for specialist doctors stands at 68. Although the requirement of general physicians is 100, there are only 20 doctors in service. Only 4 wards out of 9 with 700 beds are in use. President instructed the relevant authorities to address all these shortcomings immediately and make the hospital fully functional. President also went on an inspection tour at the Ministry of Defence premises in Galle phase. President discussed with the officials regarding the maintenance of premises, and he instructed to expedite land preparation according to a proper plan.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that an investigation has been launched into efforts where notions and ideas that distort the minds of children through school textbooks have been carried out. The Prime Minister expressed these views participating at the All-Island Dhamma School prize-giving ceremony held at the Parakum Mahavidyalaya in Vaunia.
The All-Island Dhamma School Skills Assessment Ceremony was held under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Parakum Vidyalaya in Irattaperiyakulam in Vaunia. Deputy Chief Prelate of the Askiriya Chapter, Venerable Vendiruwave Upalitera, was also present at the ceremony.
ජාතික නායකයෙක් බිහි වී තිබෙන නිසා අපි හිතනවා 2020 මේ රටට ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන්ට මා හිතන්නේ වාසනාවන්ත යුගයක් උදා වෙයි කියලා. මේ රටට දේශපාලන නායකයෝ නම් ඕනෑ තරම් ඉන්නවා. ජාතික නායකයෝන්ගේ විශාල හිගයක් තිබෙනවා.
අපි දැක්ක බෞද්ධයන් විසින්ම බෞද්ධාගමට ගරහන එක හාමුදුරනේ. සිංහලකමට ගරහන එක. සිංහල ඡන්දවලින් බලයට පත් වෙන දේශපාලඥයින් පවා සිංහල බෞද්ධයන්ට මහා සංඝරත්නයට ප්‍රසිද්ධියේ අවමන් කළා. මේ රටේ ඉන්න වෙනත් කිසිම ජාතියක හෝ ආගමක අය ඔය විදියට තමන්ගේ ජාතියට ආගමට ගැරුවේ නැහැ. දිනකට හරි දාම් පාසලකට ගිහිල්ලා හිටියනම් කිසි දිනක ඔවුන් පාවිච්චි කරපු සමහර වචන පාවිච්චි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. විදේශීය මුදල් වලින් පවත්වාගෙන යන රාජ්‍ය නොවන සංවිධාන අපේ අධ්‍යාපනයේ ක්‍රමයට බොහොම සියුම් විදියට මැදිහත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ රටේ ප්‍රධාන පෙළේ විද්වත් භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලා පාසල් ළමුන්ට බෙදා දෙන පොත්වල මුළු ළමා පරපුරේම හිත් විකෘති කරන ආකාරයේ දේවල් ඇතුළත් කරලා තියෙන හැටි විස්තර කරනවා මම අහගෙන හිටියා පසුගිය දවස්වල. ඒකත් එක්කම ගිහි සංවිධාන පෙන්වලා දුන්නා සමහර ආණ්ඩුවෙන් අච්චු ගහ පොත්වල උතුරු නැගෙර පළාත් දෙක එක පළාතක් වගේ පෙන්වලා තියෙනවා. සිංහල අලුත් අවුරුද්දක් සමහර පොත්වල හලලා හාමුදුරනේ. අපි කවුරුත් තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන. මේ රට බෙදන්න, සිංහල බෞද්ධ ජනතාව විනාශ කරන්න, සිංහල දෙමළ ක්‍රිස්තියානි හින්දු සියලු දෙනාගේ මේ පෞල් සංස්ථා බිඳ දමන්න. ළමුන් හා දෙමව්පියන් අතර, ළමුන් සහ ගුරුවරුන් අතර, ළමුන් හා ආගම් අතර සම්බන්ධතා බිඳ දමන්න. තාම බලගතු වැඩපිළිවෙලක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා රට තුල. ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ අරමුණ ඉටු කරගන්න වැඩසටහන් පටන් ගන්නේ පාසල්වල බාලාංශයේ ඉඳලා. එතකොට අවුරුදු කීපයක් ගත වුණාම කවුරුවත් දන්නේ නැතුවම සිංහල මිනිසුන්ගේ හිත් තිබීම වෙනස් වෙලා. පාසල්වල භාවිතා වන පොත්පත් වලින් ළමුන්ගේ හිත් තුලට දාන මතවාදය ගැන කඩිනමින්ම විමර්ශනයක් කරන්නට අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Results of the GCE Advanced Level Examination, just as we told you before, was released this evening. The Advanced Level Examination for the year 2019 was held from the 5th to the 31st of August at 2,678 examination centres across the island. Reportedly, a total of 337,704 candidates, including 198,229 new applicants, sat for the examination this year. The candidates will be able to obtain their results from the official website of the Department of Examinations. Just log on to www.doenets, that's doenets.lk.
Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian M.A. Sumanthiran accuses the government of marring the national reconciliation process by turning around the trajectory of the previous government. Referring to the government's decision to sing the national anthem only in the Sinhala language during the upcoming Independence Day celebration. Now, the parliamentarian says that it is an indication of the direction in which the government is moving now.
In 2015, when a new government came into office, they changed all that and started moving in the direction of national reconciliation. That was the reason why after several decades, Mr. Sambandhan and I attended the National Day celebrations, because we wanted to show that we were ready to grasp that hand of friendship that was being extended from the majority community. We were ever willing to do that. But unfortunately now, that trajectory has been turned around and the government is doing everything to mar the national reconciliation process. If we are told not to sing the national anthem in Tamil, that is in effect government telling the Tamil people not to sing the national anthem at all. We are not perturbed about that. Mere singing of the national anthem doesn't bring about national reconciliation. to enjoy equal citizenship rights, there must be power sharing. A political power must be shared in such a way that even those who are minority in numbers can exercise political power in this country. In the absence of that, and in the absence of any meaningful effort to reach national reconciliation, stopping the national anthem from being sung in Tamil is merely an indicator of the direction in which this government is moving, and therefore, as I said, we are not unduly worried that it's not being sung in Tamil. It's actually a true reflection of what the government wants to do in this country, which is a singular majoritarian rule.
Well, we got more news coming right after this short commercial break. Stay with us. This is First at 9. Welcome back, everyone. This is First at 9. Let's take you to the stock market right now. Colombo shares closed 0.59% higher today, gaining on LOLC Holdings. The all share price index closed 34.95 points, up at 6,122.64. Now, here's a brief report on today's market performance.
During the week, the ASPI gained 1.3%, mainly due to price gains in counters such as LOLC Holdings, Ceylon Cold Stores, and distilleries. Meanwhile, the S&P SL20 increased by 0.9%. The average daily turnover for the week was down from last week to 353 million rupees. Banks, finance and insurance sector recorded the highest sector turnover during the week, whilst the second highest was seen in diversified sector. The foreign participation remained active during the week, with foreigners closing as net sellers, where foreign sellings accounted for 16.6% of the total weekly turnover. A net foreign outflow of nearly 4.9 million rupees was recorded for the week. This resulted in the year-to-date net foreign outflow to decrease to 11.41 billion rupees. Out of the weekly turnover, crossings accounted for nearly 34%, which was a higher proportion than last week.
Well, newly appointed Governor of the Central Bank, Professor W.D. Lakshman, predicts the country's economic growth next year to above previous expectations and settle around 6.5% of the GDP.
In his first media briefing since his appointment as the chief of the financial regulator, Professor Lakshman said that economic growth will fast-track as a result of the aggressive policy correction measures that the new government is laying out. Now, in the final monetary policy review for 2019, the central bank, meanwhile, kept key policy interest rates unchanged, although it was widely expected that a rate revision was in the offing as the new government set out its financial roadmap.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka held the 8th and final monetary policy review briefing to media for the year today, at which the new central bank governor, Professor W.D. Lakshman, said that in the upcoming years, Sri Lanka will be able to see GDP grow beyond 6.5%.
DI inflows as well as high foreign financing needs are major concerns. In addition, we need to be watchful of developments in the global economy and financial markets as well. In this context, we hope to engage with the IMF and other multilateral agencies while remaining within the framework of our national policy to ensure that the country reverts to a sustainable path of reserve accumulation, a prerequisite for exchange rate stability as well. The government is aware of the need for fiscal consolidation and in addressing long-standing issues in the fiscal sector while supporting the revival of the economy. With a revival of economic activity, we expect economic growth to accelerate to around 4 to 4.5% and inflation to remain below 4% in year 2020. Beyond 2020, with necessary reforms, annual growth is expected to accelerate to over 6.5%, while inflation will be managed between 4 to 6%. It is in this overall context that the Monetary Board decided to maintain its accommodative policy stance unchanged at yesterday's meeting. We hope to be proactive, and the central bank will assess the developments in the market and the economy closely and take appropriate action as necessary to maintain economic and price stability as well as financial system stability, the mandated objective of the central bank, of course, working within the overall policy framework of the government. This is a time of important changes in Sri Lankan development policy and practice. Questions are being raised extensively about the validity and relevance of Washington consensus type or neoliberal type of policies to achieve the desired goals of inclusive, sustainable, and shared development.
Meanwhile, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank Dr. P. Nandalal Veerasinghe went on to respond to questions on the recent rating changes by the international agency Fitch Ratings, which changed Sri Lanka's outlook to negative from stable, mainly based on the hypothesis that Sri Lanka would shift away from the revenue-based fiscal consolidation stance, thereby causing risks to debt sustainability.
ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ දැක්ම කියන එක ස්ටේබල් තිබිච්ච එක නෙගටිව් කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඩවුන්ග්‍රේඩ් එකක් නෙවෙයි අතර මේක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අදහස් වුණේ මුලින්ම රජය විසින් නිකුත් කර බදු අඩු කිරීමේ ක්‍රමවේදය තුලින් විශාල රජයේ අයවැයගේ වැඩි වෙලා ණයබර වැඩි වෙලා ඒක නිසා ඒ සම්බන්ධ අවධාරණයක් තියෙනවා කියලා උපකල්පනය කළා මුලින්ම ඒගොල්ලෝ outlook එක පල්හැට මහ බැංකුව සහ රජය පැත්තෙන් අපි ඇත්තටම පෙන්නුම් කළ හිටියේ ඒක ඒ වගේ තීරණයක් ගන්න අවශ්‍ය තොරතුරු තවම නැහැ ඒගොල්ලන්ටවත් අපටවත්. එතකොට මුලින්ම ගත්ත ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයට යම්කිසි සහනයක් දෙන්න ජනතාවට බදු අඩු කිරීම සහ යම්කිසි සහන පැකේජයක් දෙනකොට මුල එක දිහා විතරක් බලලා ඉදිරියේදී මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා තීරණය කිරීම වැරදි. පිළා හිටියේ යම්කිසි කාලයක් දෙන්න අලුත් නව රජයට.
An airplane carrying 93 passengers in Kazakhstan crashes. We'll bring you the details after this short break.
International news now. A Beck airplane with 93 passengers and 5 crew members on board crashed near the city of Almaty in Kazakhstan today, shortly after taking off, killing at least 15 people.
The Civil Aviation Committee of Kazakhstan said that the Fokker 100 aircraft heading for the capital Astana on pre-dawn flight lost altitude during the takeoff and broke through a concrete fence before hitting a two-story building.
Authorities haven't suggested any possible cause of the accident so far. The country's aviation committee said that it was suspending all flights of the Fokker 100 aircraft pending an investigation. A survivor of the incident stated that the plane started to shake while gaining altitude about 2 minutes after takeoff, prompting that it could be stalled. Now, at least 15 people were killed and 66 were taken to hospital, including some in grave condition. The aircraft was torn into 2 parts next to a house, half demolished by the impact in the crash site in the Almarek village just beyond the end of the runway.
Also in international news, the Philippines has banned visiting U.S. lawmakers and will introduce tighter entry restrictions for U.S. citizens should Washington enforce sanctions over the detention of a top government critic. Now, the Philippines president's spokesperson said today that President Rodrigo Duterte will impose a requirement on U.S. nationals to get visas should any Philippines officials involved in the incarceration of Senator Leila de Lima be denied entry to the United States as sought by U.S. Senators Richard Durbin and Patrick Leahy. Duterte's move comes after the U.S. Congress approved a 2020 budget that contains a provision introduced by the senators against anyone involved in holding de Lima, who was charged with drug offences in early 2017 after she led an investigation into mass killings during Duterte's notorious anti-drugs crackdown. The U.S. Embassy in Manila did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
We start off with some cricket. Australia resumed their second innings this morning from yesterday's close of 257 runs for the loss of 4 wickets against New Zealand. Former Australian skipper Steve Smith scored 85 runs and was dismissed by Neil Wagner as a second dismissal of the day. Travis Head claimed his second Test century and scored 114, adding more runs to the Australian scoreboard. Australia scored 467 runs for their first innings at stumps. New Zealand, who preceded their second innings, remained at a score of 44 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. Both Pat Cummins and James Pattinson bagged a wicket each from the New Zealand innings.
Now, in another encounter in the English Premier League, Liverpool ruthlessly defeated Leicester City 4-0 yesterday at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. The visitors took the lead in the first half as Roberto Firmino scored the first to Liverpool. Liverpool scored 3 more goals in the second half and claimed an easy victory against the opponents. Liverpool still remain leaders in the points table of the Premier League, securing 8 points, or rather 18 points.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. If you are celebrating the season, happy holidays.
Compliments of the season, the best of the season. That's all we have tonight, Mahesh. I'm Indivariya Muatta.
Mahesh, Johnny, have a very good night.
Good night.